one thing for sure, it's a future of work. And we will be working in the metaverse. The world is shrinking. It's shrinking because of the metaverse. When metaverse gonna click, connect around, it's gonna take over around the globe. And it's gonna infurious, like click, connect. That's it. It's never gonna let go.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Engatica's interview series. I'm your host, Nimilika, and we are really glad to have you join us today. And
Thank you.
today we have Mario M Pawlowski, the CEO of iTrucker and the Chief Vision Officer at Metaverse. Welcome to the show, Mario.
Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have this conversation with you today. The Engatica interview series is a powerhouse of insights from industry experts and influencers from around the world. A platform that provides the latest news on AI, automation, and technologies that will help you grow your business. Join us, be a part of our community, learn, share, and grow with us. So, Mario, shall we start our conversation?
Sure.
Okay. So, I'll start off with the most important question. How will Metaverse unfold and transform enterprises?
All right. So that's a great question. How is gonna it's gonna transform the whole world according to my knowledge and according to my imagination. And the metaverse is something that will actually expand human imagination in my opinion. It's something huge. It's something which is happening every few decades. So how is going to transform the enterprises? It's going to transform enterprises in a huge way. I mean, it's already transforming. In my opinion, the transformation is already going on for the last few years, maybe even more than that. Than 2 years since this word pop up. That was, I believe, in 90s, like middle 90s. The metaverse, which is close to metaphysics and metaphysical appearance, which is virtual reality. That's exactly what metaverse is, but it's actually evolving to something much, much bigger. Huge companies like Meta, huge companies like Nvidia, the biggest players, Microsoft, all Apple, Google, everybody competing in the metaverse, and they will be competing. And this already is changing the world, the way we're working, the future of work, how we're gonna be working, and virtual reality actually is gonna enhance and move it forward because of the technology. Let's say about 10, 15 years ago, the technology wasn't that good. Right now, technology, virtual reality, especially augmented reality, extended reality, how you want to call it. I mean, there is a difference between virtual reality and extended reality or augmented reality. But right now, in my opinion, it start blending together. So basically, it's blending to the point that at one point, we will be able to seamlessly be in the real world and in the metaverse. I give you an example. Augmented glasses, right? If you're using augmented glasses, the new technology will actually give you ability at the same time, to be in this world, in the virtual world, and seamlessly, going between it. So let's say the example. Let's say if you're gonna go for a walk into the park, and you're gonna be walking, you're gonna have augmented reality glasses on your eyes, on your head. At the same time, you can be in the metaverse, which means basically you can work with your team, with the other companies in the metaverse. At the same time, you can jog and actually, walk in the park and be outside and you can connect and disconnect. You take off the glasses and you can talk to your friend. But then you can tell your friend, listen, I'm busy. I'm actually working right now. I'm putting my glasses on and I'm in the metaverse again. And I'm working with the people from all over the world. So this will change the enterprises. Absolutely. It's already changing. So same with the remote working. People gonna be able to work remotely from all over the world. Let's say you are in India, I'm in United States. Somebody else, for example, part of our team it's in Poland and other part is in the Australia, okay? We can all be connected at the same time and we can work on the wherever the companies are working. So this is like making huge difference. And I also want to add something that the coronavirus pandemic actually propelled this into the like a reality right now, because companies like Zoom, what happened with the Zoom. The Zoom before the pandemic was not really like popular at all. After, I mean, in the middle of pandemic, they become multi-billion-dollar company. And I believe Zoom will be also playing like a big part in it. I'm sure I didn't heard if they're working on something, but I'm assuming they do because everybody does. So that's what I think. It's gonna basically change the enterprises and the way we're working forever.
Yeah. So people are going to be omnipresent across spaces and doing multiple stuff together at the
Yes,
same time.
yes, exactly, and that's huge opportunities for people from the countries like undeveloped countries like let's say Africa, or countries who don't have access to too much like but they still have an access to internet. They can use the VR headsets or whatever. It's still expensive. It's gonna go down gradually. It's going to get less and less and less expensive, and more people, and that's what I hope for, because there's so many talents around the world, people who are like young kids. I know personally kids from different countries around the world. They would never people wouldn't know about them and about their talents if there was no virtual reality or something. So basically this is going to change a lot.
Yes. So are regulators ready for the metaverse?
Uh, Not sure about it. Regulator wasn't ready for the Web 2, which is the current internet, and we have a constant issue. The perfect example is Facebook. Okay, me and my wife Margaret. We are actually very active on Facebook. We have about, I don't know, altogether maybe 500,000 followers and members in our groups and the pages. And Facebook is one of the worst if it's coming to regulating, something. They just terrible. I mean, I love Facebook, but and Meta. Well, it's called Meta now. Let's not call it Facebook. Let's call it Meta. Because it's about the metaverse. And they basically dive head into metaverse. And Mark Zuckerberg, he basically bet all in, for the metaverse. He's losing billions, but he's so persistent. I believe he will succeed, but I believe the problems with the regulating things in the metaverse is gonna, be still around for many years to come, which is not a good thing. And it might be even worse if it's coming to regulating, because there is so many new things in the metaverse that wasn't in, let's say, regular social media, Facebook. Right now, when the people can basically see each other, in the metaverse, in the virtual reality, basically they can do much more things, and much more bad things can happen also. So regulating is very important, but I believe it's gonna be one of the main issues.
Yeah. So how will the metaverse reframe human-centered experiences?
How is going to reframe human-centered experiences? Okay, that's a question, another very good question. How they going to do it? I'm not sure how they're going to do it. That it's up to them. But I can tell you, what's my opinion is about it. So
Mm.
basically, it should be all about the humans, okay,
Mm.
and all about all about us. And how they're gonna reframe it, they're gonna have to, just try to do it the better and learn on the mistakes they did before the metaverse, before
Mm.
the, virtual reality. I mean, the virtual reality was for a long time, but technology wasn't here, okay? Right now, VR technology is getting better and better, okay? And basically, they have to concentrate on human because that's without that, I mean, why are we gonna need the metaverse for what? For artificial intelligence only, to just communicate between themselves? That's gonna be pointless. It's have to be for a human. It's have to be for us, and it's have to be human centered as the as it's supposed to be, because without that, it's going to be pointless, to develop metaverse. Artificial
Yeah.
intelligence can connect without the metaverse.
Mm.
When the artificial intelligence become a sane, the sentient, it's just for artificial intelligence. I was always actually asking these questions like years ago myself. Actually, I was asking myself like how come it's gonna be, this AI bots, they talking to humans. Let's say if you're connecting with some company and the AI powered bot, it's answering to you, okay? And
Mm.
then I was thinking like so what's gonna happen in the future when the only bots gonna be around? So basically they won't need the humans, but the humans
Mm.
are the customers. Humans are the, we invented that. We invented these technologies. Of course, artificial intelligence will help us in the very near future to make us, better, to make the, companies better, to make the experience better. But after all of this is going to have to be for humans, right?
Yes.
So I believe this is gonna be like a long development, and we will have to see what's gonna happen because things might, change like a very often.
Correct. Because there's lots of research happening around human-centered experiences and AI and how do these two go together.
Well,
Sometimes
yeah,
there are inconsistencies.
yeah, that's the problem. Again, that's the question I'm asking myself for a long
Mm.
time,
Mm.
and it's kind of hard. Like I mean, it's not hard to imagine. I mean, what I'm imagining, it's exactly the thing that AI gonna blend with the human. So AI is supposed to help us, augmented us, like AI cannot take over. When the
Mm.
AI will take over the humans, that's gonna be disaster. So we don't want this disaster, but everything's supposed to be about the humans, because we
Correct.
invented it, and we will be, here for some time in the future. I hope,
Yes. Yeah.
and I hope,
Really soon.
yeah, and I believe artificial intelligence, will help us, to get us, further
Mm.
in our evolution. It's next step in our evolution, and artificial intelligence and metaverse is basically, entangled. It's gonna
Mm.
be together. It's gonna help us. It's gonna help us, in uh, invent new things in the metaverse. And when the people are gonna be working together in the metaverse, artificial intelligence should be like our right hand, which is
Mm.
gonna help us to basically, work seamlessly, get the problem solved and things like that.
Yeah. So, what new dimensions will Metaverse open for sustainability?
That's Well, it's it's opening a lot of dimensions, but it's also opening new problems. It's giving us new
Mm.
problems.
Yeah.
So, example, mm, using virtual reality, using the VR headset. Okay, it's taking a lot of data. Okay, and of course, it's taking a lot of electricity also.
Mm.
So basically, when we gonna be using more and more metaverse, it's gonna take more and more data and also more and more power to do it. I mean power, I mean electricity, okay? So basically, we would have to, I mean, we're developing, all the sustainable, sources of power, of electricity, like a wind power, solar power, nuclear, power. We have it for a long time, but it's basically right now is the best bet. We're still working on the, on the lots of, like a sustainable power of sources of power. But like I said, it will open, like a lot of doors because people from around the world will be working together. So, one mind is not a millions of minds. When the millions of minds gonna get together, we can come up with some kind of idea which doesn't exist yet, probably, Well, and that's my idea. But, I think it will take some time before we will actually figure out how to make the metaverse sustainable and how to help the humanity, to get, energy in sustainable, way. But it's still an issue. But like I said before, developing metaverse, and when the metaverse is gonna be going faster and faster into the future, it's gonna develop, it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. We will need more and more power. The perfect example, it's crypto. Okay, mining crypto taking unbelievable amounts of power. So, and crypto is basically entangled with the, it's going to be entangled with the metaverse because we will be using the payments methods like crypto in the metaverse. So basically you can call it Web3, okay? And the Web3 is going to be built, it's supposed to be built on blockchain, supposed to be decentralized, but I'm also not sure about it because, the big companies jumping in and it doesn't look exactly decentralized. It's actually looked like the last 20 years when the all big players actually jump in and the normal people, small people, the people, I mean, small people, it's a wrong word. I'm sorry. I shouldn't use this word. Regular people, like we are, we don't have billions. We don't have, that much money. We don't have that much power. And these big companies, they jumping in and they want to take over the metaverse. They also, the decentralized, the blockchain and the decentralized, walls. I'm calling this decentralized walls. Should be, for everybody, and that's the whole idea. But it looks like, this big company is jumping all over it and pushing away, the little guys. So the sustainability, it's gonna be kind of an issue, I believe. But let's hope it's gonna get better.
So how do you think will implementations of metaverse develop around the world?
Well, to be honest, okay, so, and I'm always honest, I don't think it's gonna be equal. I wish, I would love to be equal, but it's gonna be a problem with developing equally all over the world. United States, all the Western countries, India, which is, I believe India gonna be the biggest, not the biggest, but the most populated country next year. I think the India will surpass China next year with the population. But I have so many friends from India, from different parts of India. So I want to give it this example. And I have people who own huge companies, and I have friends who don't own anything. They simple developers, okay, or people who wanna like be in this business, and they don't have access like to the internet. I mean, they do have an access, but not it's not equal, okay. So basically, the metaverse is not gonna be implemented equally around the world. That's my idea, which is not good. I hope we can think of some idea, about this to make it, equal around the world, especially in the countries like, in Africa or
Mm.
some other places where, it's hard to come by. People don't have money to buy the VR headsets. People don't have
Yes.
money. The VR headsets cost a few $100s, even the cheapest one.
Mm.
People in countries, even countries like a country of my origin, Poland. Okay, well,
Mm.
the country is, we actually the economy is good and everything, but I know people who cannot afford it, and they really wish to be into metaverse. They really wish to, like participate in that,
Mm.
but they're not gonna be able because they're not gonna be able to afford, you know,
Yeah.
uh, afford the hardware. So
Mm.
that's why I'm hoping, while the metaverse is developing, also the companies like the bigger companies, like Google, they're developing the glasses. I hope these glasses in next few years they're gonna cost, they're gonna be affordable to everybody,
Mm.
and
Mm.
everybody can connect to internet, and everybody can connect to metaverse, and just exist there and like a participating. So basically, implementation, in my opinion, is not going to be equal, and it's going to be
Mm.
some issue also.
So you think implementation and sustainability are like interrelated? Only when one is balanced, the other one will be. Something like that, is it?
Okay, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
So we spoke about sustainability
Hmm.
in metaverse, and
Hmm.
now we were speaking about implementation. I was asking if these two are interrelated. Only when we solve one, the other one will be uplifted along with it. Something like that.
Well, I mean, okay, so sustainability, I mean, at least maybe I misunderstood this question, but in my opinion, sustainability, it's always energy coming to my mind. Okay,
Okay.
if it's if it's about the sustainability,
Hmm.
and so if it's interconnected, like an implementation, it is and it's not, but implementation is gonna be a bigger issue than the sustainability.
Okay.
Implementation around the world is basically because of not equal
Hmm.
access
Yeah.
to the metaverse. Basically,
Hmm.
it's gonna be really really hard for some people to connect to metaverse because of the costs. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's gonna basically, it looks like, at least it's gonna basically, repeat the last age of the internet. Some people
Hmm.
have it, some people have no access to it, which is very sad. And like I said, there is unbelievable, there are geniuses around the world. We don't know
Hmm.
about them. They somewhere in the village in Africa, and I'm
Hmm.
sure there is millions of
Yes.
people who, beautiful people who have, like a beautiful minds, but they
Hmm.
don't have access. They cannot show themselves. The
Correct.
metaverse supposed to actually uh, help them do that,
Hmm.
And I wish and I hope that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if they won't have an access to it, they
Hmm.
would be discriminated, I believe.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a sad thing to say. It's but that. I think that's the that's what's happening. I hope it's gonna change because all the people in the Web3 and blockchain, the crypto NFT subject, they all talking about equality, everything. Let's bring everybody. I'm, often on the Twitter Spaces. I have so much friends. We live in Florida, not far from Miami. I have a friend who have huge. They just, develop like a huge NFT business.
Hmm.
And basically, I was on the space when one guy from, I'm not sure what was the country. That was one of the African countries. He came over. He connect with us, and he starts saying, like, guys, can you help me? Like, like, can you explain me? Like, what's the NFTs? I heard about it. I heard
Hmm.
about metaverse. So we start explaining to this guy, like what it is, and he was basically, like almost crying. He said, "I wish I had better internet connection because now I have to finish the conversation because I'm out of the internet time. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I don't have any more internet for today. I was like, okay. And then after that, it's kind of like struck me, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, this is very sad, actually, he wanted to talk to us. He wanted to find out, and everybody was, willing to offer help and insights and telling me like, hey, come on, join our, team, join our club. We will help you. We will show you, we will help you, to do this, that, and he said he wish, but he have to hang up because he don't have any more internet time. I didn't know exactly what that mean, but I assume he won't have connection, with the internet. So this is basically what's inequality. It's I mean inequality with the with the metaverse can be, which I'm afraid that the big companies like Facebook and Meta, or maybe some other companies can exploit that again because they did it before. They took over. They took over everything. They did it before, and I'm afraid they will do it again. I hope not, but I'm afraid that's what's gonna happen. And lots of big brands, big influencers talking about it. So
Yeah,
that's
let's
what I'm
hope
thinking.
for the best then, the metaverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we end our conversation, do you have any other sound bites to share with our audience?
Well, I have a lot. Okay, so metaverse, metaverse. Metaverse, it's like I mentioned before, it's something that it's a basically new revolution. It's like we're calling all the technology, all the development, fourth industrial revolution. I'm sorry. Metaverse is the main thing. Metaverse is basically like a .com, but it's a next stage. That's why many people uh, basically when they saying metaverse, they're also saying Web3. Okay. Well, there is a difference between Web3 and metaverse, but it's connected. It's gonna be interconnected. So basically, because the metaverse, we're not gonna be living in the metaverse. I mean, part of the people will, I'm sure, the gamers, the young people, they love it. People in my age, I'm kind of one step, a little bit, outside, one step inside. And actually, I understand people from, from the web 2 and the people from the web 3 because I have connections with the both. So I give you an example. My stepson, my wife Margaret, son, he just turned 17. When he was like a 10, I was already teaching him how to work smarter, not harder. Okay. When he was 12, he was making about, I don't know, $5,000 a month just selling shoes. He was actually flipping, there's company, it's called Supreme. Okay. He was buying this clothing and selling few minutes later. He was buying for $100. He was waiting all night for the, for the raffle to get this, okay, one item. And he was selling few minutes later for $1,500.
Whoa.
So I was, like teaching him. So while I was teaching him, I learned a lot from him because he was playing games, Roblox, things. He was preparing basically without even knowing the word metaverse. I mean, it existed, but nobody knew about it back then. That was like let's say 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Very little people, I'm sorry, very little amount of people knew about the metaverse. But he was playing Roblox, he was doing this, he was doing that. And I was telling him, listen, always work smarter, not harder. Right now, he's in the NFT business. He's basically, made in a matter of year, a few $100,000. He's going to the college. He's going to the college, and he's so smart. I'm, I think he's gonna be like another Elon Musk. No, I mean, I wish, you know, he is.
Will be.
I hope so, you know, because I was teaching him and telling him, but I was also learning from him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for people in my age, I'm 46. I'm gonna be 47, okay, this year. Most of the people I know in my age, they have no idea what's the NFTs, metaverse, or they don't know this word, and they say,
Right.
"Oh, we're gonna be okay without that." And I'm keep telling them, "No, you're not gonna be okay without that because you have to learn basics, especially metaverse, because in next few years you're still gonna be working, and your company will require you to work in metaverse." What is the metaverse, Mario? I was like, yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm talking about. You have to know what the metaverse is because your company will require to work with. Even if you own the company, to run the company, you would have to connect to the metaverse. So
Yes.
metaverse, is a broad word, like it's having many meanings, it depends what you think about it. But one thing for sure, it's a future of work. And we will be working in the metaverse. The world is shrinking. It's shrinking because of the metaverse. When metaverse gonna connect around, it's gonna take over around the globe. And it's gonna infurious, like click, connect. That's it.
Yes.
It's never gonna let go. It's never gonna let go. That's gonna be the metaverse, and most of the work is gonna be done through metaverse. Some people think the metaverse is games, like a virtual reality, playing, some game or whatever. No, that's just the beginning. That's just like a little extra. The future of work is in the metaverse, and I'm a firm believer. And some of great minds, some of the people, we interacting on the Twitter, and everywhere, like, Nicolas Babin, Jean Baptiste Lefebvre, or, I believe you know them, Ray Wang, Glenn Gilmore, my wife, Margaret. She's all over. She more like into artificial intelligence, but she's also in the metaverse. And we're trying to develop also our business, the Avatarverse, but we're still kind of stuck at some things, and we're still working on it. It's gonna take us few months. But to kind of conclude this, I believe metaverse is the future of the work, is the future of development of basically any big ideas and technologies all over the world. And the metaverse is the word that everybody on earth should learn what it means, including the Web3, and know the difference between Web3 and metaverse. Web3 is basically gonna be, future of payments, future of base of the Web3, which is blockchain technology, right? That's what it's supposed to be. That's why it's called decentralized. And the metaverse is basically another layer, but at one point everything gonna interconnect. Web3, blockchain, and metaverse will interconnect. They actually were invented for each other, but it's still gonna take some time, especially with the last, latest crypto crash. People are not sure this and that, but I believe is the history is repeating itself. It's same like .com bubble. It's crashed, and we're still using .com. Everybody wants .com domain. If you're opening the website, .com is the most important. Most important is the best to have. So it's basically history is repeating itself, but I don't want the history to repeat exactly, because I don't want these big companies to take over, and we're gonna be basically, have to do what we were doing, like whatever Facebook tell us to do. Like I mentioned before, we have so many followers on Facebook. We have to play by the Facebook rules, and there is always some issues. actually with the Facebook, there are unbelievable issues. They always have some issue with this, with this, with that, and we have to play by the, their rules. We have no our rules. We cannot set our rules. We cannot tell the Facebook. There is no Facebook, customer service. It's
Yeah.
impossible to connect to them and tell them the issue. They implement the artificial intelligence to take, over the, groups, pages, and everything. And the artificial intelligence is not perfect. It's never gonna be perfect because universe is not perfect. And that's why we here. That's why humans are here, because universe was never perfect. If the universe was perfect, we would never be here. We would never exist. So metaverse is something will propel humanity into the future. It's not next step.
Yeah. So maybe when the world clicks, Metaverse clicks on the world, maybe I'll meet you and Margaret, both of you. We
No,
work
of
together.
course.
Yeah.
Listen, I still, prefer to like meet people, face to face. I'm
I
kind of
know.
like I said, I'm 47 and I'm like a one step in the future, one step in the past. And, I'm probably going to stay that way, but the younger people, they already, in the future, and they just need to, adjust to the, to the new reality, which is, metaverse. I mean, the younger people, it's going to be much easier for them. The people in our age and my age and older, they would have some, issues. That's why, actually our project, the Avataverse, what we want to do is to kind of help the people who don't understand what the metaverse is and what the
Mhm.
future is, to actually easily, assimilate with that, get
Mhm.
into it. So that's
Mhm.
the whole idea. And
Yeah.
that's because, like I said, my one leg is in the future and another is in the past. So
Mhm. Yes. Thank you so much, Mario. I had the amazing time talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable
thank
insights.
you. I really appreciate your invite, and that was great conversation. I hope we can do it again, and I
Yes.
will be more than happy. And please free, to contact me. And that was like a great experience. I can, talk about it forever.
Yeah. Thank you so, so much, Mario. For more content, subscribe to Engati and tap the bell icon to get exclusive access to content from thought leaders from around the world. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you with a new expert soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.